It was getting dangerous for her.
They both just snapped at that point and just freaked out.
Nobody deserves to go through it.
Someone had identified that male subject as Kevin Shields. Kevin Shields is a longtime resident of Floral City, which is also in Citrus County.
He tells us around the 26th of December he's sleeping and he's woken up by Byron and Crystal.
He described them arriving to his house, driving Byron's car. They were both acting as though something had happened.
And Boughton told him, I need to know where to bury a body that won't be found.
Ultimately, what they shared was Deanna was dead in the trunk of the car. Kevin said he never looked in the trunk, so he couldn't say positively whether or not she was in there. But they did discuss on what to do with the body. The best course of action that they could come up with was dumping her body somewhere. Kevin went into great detail explaining how he would do it, which made us think maybe he had something to do with it.
Unsure of his involvement in the crime, investigators take Kevin into custody and immediately focus on locating their two new suspects.
The investigation determined Crystal Brinson had 2 prior felonies. They were drug-related charges, and she had 3 misdemeanors. Byron Boughton was a 2-time convicted felon, and he had 6 prior misdemeanor convictions.
Hernando County did an emergency teletype message to make contact with Byron and Crystal.
After being made aware of the information from Kevin, the Citrus County Sheriff's Office went and made contact with Byron, and he volunteered to be interviewed.
While Byron admits that he knew Deanna Stiers, he claims he hasn't seen her since the day before Christmas.
And in good spirits.
He was very agitated and disinterested in anything, including emotion, about the situation. And he said that he wasn't involved. Those are normally signs of people being deceitful when you interview them.
Despite their suspicions that Byron is lying, investigators have no evidence to hold him. They release Byron and head to Crystal Brinson's registered address.
Crystal was living with me at the time, off and on. Detectives come out and talk to me. Well, you know, when was the last night she stayed here? I said, I haven't seen Crystal in about 2 weeks. And they said, well, we're looking for her, and it's important. They wanted to know everything about Crystal.
Active, taking attention away from her. Jealousy could happen.
And we finally were able to get some of the truth out of him.
She hit her like a bunch of times, like really fast.
Florida.
How could my daughter even know these people? Deanna was 18, and here they're late 30s, early 40s.
Byron put the blame squarely on Crystal Brinson, and he basically said the actions that contributed directly to the death of the victim in the case were performed by Crystal Brinson.
I was just glad that Byron wasn't out there to hurt anybody else or cause anybody else any harm.
While Crystal has evaded authorities thus far, Crystal Brinson and Byron Boughton have been charged in the murder of Deanna Stiers. Following Byron's confession, investigators theorize that Deanna may have inadvertently become a threat to Crystal and Byron's relationship.
You have a younger female, outgoing, very attractive, taking attention away from her. Jealousy could happen.
Because Crystal had already requested a lawyer, the detectives could not go back in to try and interview her again. So she never gave a formal statement.
Investigators still need hard evidence connecting Crystal to Deanna's death. When they receive the results from the crime lab, they hit pay dirt.
Byron Boughton's 380
is rocked by a tragic murder.
There was a gunshot wound to the head.
I just remember laying down and crying. My heart had been ripped out. I couldn't believe that this was happening. Who would want to hurt it?
As authorities search for a suspect, the investigation descends into the dangers of online dating.
He said he was going to go meet up with some guy on Grindr.
You don't know who you're meeting up with. It was a big fear.
Was this a date that went bad? Was this a set-up date as a robbery? Lots of questions.
The investigation will take a sharp turn as rumors of a toxic romance come into focus, leading to the discovery of a disturbing betrayal fueled by desperation.
They punished him to protect themselves.
They needed each other to survive.
I still cannot wrap my mind around how you could be so close to somebody and do something so horrific.
A quiet community south of Indianapolis, Morgan County, Indiana, may be best known for its family-friendly living.
Morgan County is a small rural area, about 30 minutes south of Indianapolis. It's a peaceful, quaint community with not a lot of crime.
But at 3 p.m. on September 13, 2019, a local resident calls 911 in a panic.
We've been smelling something for a couple of days here, and we just thought it was a dead animal, but there's a dead person laying up here in the ditch.
The caller reports the victim is lying along a fence adjoining her property.
And you're for sure that that person is deceased, right?
Oh yes, there's bugs crawling around him.
There's officers on the way. They're going to be there in just a few minutes, okay?
Investigators with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office are immediately dispatched to the scene.
I was on call, so I proceeded to the location. This particular area was isolated. It had one residence right off the road, and the area was shaded by trees and thick brush. The deceased person was in late stages of decomposition. When we looked at the body, it was difficult to even tell if it was male or female. There was a gunshot wound to the head. And I've noticed that the deceased right pocket was pulled out. So that automatically had us leading to believe a possible robbery.
Most people carry cell phones. Most people have some kind of ID or credit card or money. So the fact that there was really nothing there led police to believe that maybe that was intended.
As we started looking at the scene, we found 7 9mm shell casings. We determined that it was an automatic handgun and possibly a Glock due to the indentions on the shell casings.
There was some blood found coming from the top of the fence to the bottom. There was some blood found on the rocks below the fence. It was the hypothesis or assumption at the time that the victim was going over the fence and then was shot.
When investigators speak with the 911 caller, she says she hadn't seen anything suspicious, but she had heard something 4 days earlier.
She had gone to sleep on September 9th at 4:30 and heard several gunshots. But it was a rural area, so there's a lot of target practicing and hunting, different people in that area shooting guns off, so it wasn't uncommon.
With no clear evidence pointing to who might be responsible, investigators focus on identifying their victim.
The body was transported to our Morgan County morgue, and then forensic pathologist did an autopsy on the deceased the next day. The forensic pathologist determined that it was a male, probably in their 20s, approximately 6'2", 6'3".
The pathologist confirms the victim died from a single gunshot wound to the head.
They couldn't say exactly when, but they just know the body had been out there for a few days. We also were able to get fingerprints from the deceased at the autopsy, and those were put into what's called APHIS. We got a hit on a fingerprint for a male out of Jacksonville, Illinois, named Alexander Jackson.
The Morgan County Sheriff's Office, they were asking themselves questions like, what was this guy doing out here? And why was he killed?
Born in Illinois in 1996, Alexander Jackson had always been bright and brainy.
Alex was born and raised in Jacksonville. He was a good kid, and he was really, really smart.
Alex was very outgoing, caring, bubbly. I mean, when you think of somebody that would literally give you the shirt off their back, I mean, that is him to a T.
He loved science. Everything with plants, trees. He would always hate seeing people cut trees down and everything. He always just wanted to do what he could to help the environment.
We called him Sid the science kid, because he would have all these, like, facts that no one, like, why do you know that? You know?
When he graduated high school, he then decided to go to Western University in Illinois to study environmental science.
One day, his sophomore year of college, I guess there's a coming out day, he had posted this post. It said that I was gay.
He just really figured out who he wanted to be, what he wanted to do, and we were all just really proud of that.
After sophomore year, Alex decided to join his aunt in Indianapolis.
Alex moved in with me January of 2017. He wanted to come here to spread his wings. I was the person who kind of just introduced him to the scene, the gay scene, you know, on Mass Ave.
He did drag and things like that, and he was having a lot of fun with that.
In July 2017, he decided he wanted to get his own apartment. And I was kind of sad when he decided to leave, because I really enjoyed having him around. But I was happy that he was finding his way in life.
But Alex's plans for the future would come to a tragic end on an isolated stretch of road nearly 20 miles from home in Indianapolis.
Once they got Alex identified, then the detective would reach out to the family.
I was able to get in contact with Alex's mother, Lilona Jackson.
I remember them telling me that they had found him. That moment is kind of a blur. Because I was there by myself, I just remember laying down and crying.
I think it dropped to the floor. Felt like the part of my soul, my heart had been ripped out. I couldn't believe that this was happening. Who would want to hurt him?
I learned that Alex had moved to Indianapolis to live with his aunt, Heather. He was taking classes there and working a job and doing really good for the most part.
Alex's mother says her son's life had taken an unexpected turn after he moved out of his aunt's home in July of 2017.
He lived in an apartment complex, and something had happened above him, and so water had leaked into his apartment, and he ended up needing to leave.
Talking to Lilona, he was actually staying with friends at different places and hotels. And I think that kind of got him in a situation where he was getting with the wrong people. He had quit his job and had quit school and had started to hang around some people that were partying a little too hard.
Alex called me and voiced some concern about the people that he had been hanging out with and that he had been doing things that maybe he shouldn't have been. He knew he needed to stop. It was quite a shock.
Coming up, a chilling discovery leads investigators to uncover a bitter conflict between friends.
He made a cryptic Facebook post in which he tagged Alex and said, "robbing the dead."
That post sounded very awful, especially the timing.
But a deeper look at Alex's dating life suggests a more sinister motive.
Anytime you're dealing with one of these dating apps, there's a concern that you don't know who you're dealing with. And unfortunately, there could be predators out there.
Investigators have identified 23-year-old Alex Jackson as the murder victim found off a rural road in Morgan County, Indiana. And law enforcement has learned that
happened, but things went downhill quickly. You know, the people he hung out with, I didn't know them. I knew his friends before, and all of a sudden, things changed.
These people, I had no clue who they were. No clue.
While Alex's family is unable to name any of Alex's new friends, they can offer investigators helpful insight.
Alex's car actually was in the shop, so he needed a rental car. And this family friend offered to get him a rental car for 4 days. And after that 4 days, they're like, well, why wasn't the rental car returned?
It was a short-term rental that would have been on September 6th. On the 10th, that rental car was not returned. They didn't know where the car was.
Investigators immediately begin the search for the vehicle, a 2018 Hyundai Elantra. They also issue a press release hoping to identify Alex's new friends in the city.
It's important to know who was the last person to talk to him or had seen them. We were trying to locate names as far as who he hung out with and where he might have been. And with the press release, we had gotten a call from one of Alex's friends who gave us some information on who he had been hanging out with at the time.
One of the names mentioned was Chad.
According to the tipster, Chad had made an alarming post on social media on September 6th, 3 days before authorities believe Alex was killed.
On September 6th, Chad made a cryptic Facebook post in which he tagged Alex and said something to the effect of, "robbing the dead."
They were concerned about the post due to the fact that Alex was deceased.
That post sounded very awful, especially the timing.
So at that time, we locate Chad and we went and spoke with him.
When investigators confront Chad about the social media post, he alleges that Alex was the thief in question, not him.
Chad said that him and Alex were friends and that Alex had actually stayed with him for a while and that him and Alex had a falling out due to the fact that Alex might have taken some items from him.
Chad claims that the alleged theft occurred after the two friends partied together on September 6th.
Chad had bought some drugs and had used the drugs and had nearly overdosed. When he woke up, his money was gone, and he blamed Alex for taking it. So he stated that he posted that due to the fact that he was robbing him while he was almost dying. So that was his explanation for the post.
The situation had bothered Chad, but he's emphatic that he didn't kill Alex.
We have a software that we use that actually can show which towers in an area that cell phones had sent data to. And when our evidence tech ran those numbers through, we found that Chad's number at the morning of the homicide was far away from the crime scene.
Cleared of any connection to Alex's death, Chad suggests they talk to Alex's closest friend in Indianapolis.
He advised that there was another person that Alex hung out with on a regular basis named Brittany Overton.
Alex really trusted Brittany and kind of looked at her as maybe a big sister. She was older and looked up to her for guidance, protection, stability. Brittany's name came up, and that eventually led the investigators to pay a visit on Brittany.
We proceeded to her grandmother's house and we talked to Brittany.
This is Mark Anderson, working in the Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
We are investigating Alex's death.
What happened to him?
He was shot and killed.
He was shot? I'm sorry. I can't.
She said she had been friends with Alex for a year or so, ran around with him on occasions and partied with him.
So had Alex ever lived with you or stayed with you, or did you ever live with him?
He never lived with me. He was talking about getting an apartment together.
Okay.
According to Brittany, the last time she saw Alex was the evening of September 8th, 2019.
She said they were driving around in a blue rental car that Alex had. They had gone to a couple stores during the day, and at 11 o'clock that night, he had dropped her off at her house.
Brittany puts herself with Alex together at her house in the blue rental car. Alex leaves at 11 p.m., was supposed to come back. He never came back. So now we're getting a lot closer to what happened to Alex the morning of the night, when the neighbors heard gunshots at 4:30 a.m.
So we're not sure exactly who he was with or where he was at from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m.
He said he was going to go meet up with some guy on Grindr.
Grindr is an app where men can meet other men.
Did he say who that guy was?
No name. Like, okay, well, be careful, come back if you want to, because he didn't have a place to stay at the point in time.
I was concerned maybe he met up with somebody on Grindr and that something had happened, and that we really wanted to find out who he met up with at that time.
Was this a date that went bad? Was this a set-up date as a robbery? Lots of questions.
The body of Alex Jackson was discovered. His friend Brittany Overton has just told investigators that Alex planned to meet up with a Grindr date the night of September 8th. The last time anyone saw Alex alive.
Brittany said that he was meeting or talking to a male on a dating app. If it's true, Alex was with Brittany at 11 p.m. the night before he was killed, and he went on a Grindr date. How did this person come into play?
Anytime you're dealing with one of these dating apps, there's a concern that...
Detective Mark Anderson immediately obtains a search warrant for Alex's personal Grindr account.
When I got the information back from the dating app, it just gave me the username and when they would log in or log off. It didn't give me any names who they talked to. It didn't give me any names that they hooked up with or anything like that.
That reached a dead end. A lot of these dating sites are very discreet for the obvious reason.
But just as the investigation hits a roadblock, authorities receive crucial information that breathes new life into the case.
Alex's rental car was found by Indianapolis police, abandoned.
The rental car was found wrecked on a road in Indianapolis. The theory then is the people that killed Alex may have been the same people in the rental car when it was wrecked. So we did search warrants on the rental car.
When we got the vehicle back, we noticed that in the passenger seat, there was a set of keys. And we realized there was a car key to Buick.
The keys to the rental car were there, but this extra set of keys was significant to investigators because it led them to wonder, who did these belong to?
Also, interestingly about the rental car, the front plate of the radio was removed and the radio was actually pulled out. And we were able to recover some very good fingerprints of the right hand of an individual on top of the radio. Detectives, evidence technicians processed for evidence, and of course it doesn't come back right away. So we're waiting on DNA, we're waiting on fingerprints.
While investigators wait on forensics, weeks pass without any new leads.
For the first several weeks, investigators didn't really have a lot to go on. They were reaching out to anyone who might have known Alex in the Indianapolis area. Unfortunately, they really weren't able to get any answers.
Five weeks after Alex's death, investigators receive a promising tip from a concerned woman.
And we went and spoke with her. She stated that her grandson had told her that he had shot somebody named Alex. He then showed her on his phone an article from a local television station where Alex Jackson was identified as deceased in a homicide. She had asked him why, and he had made a comment that he thought that this person was going to try to hurt him. She gave me the name of Justin Blake. I had never heard that name in the investigation.
Justin's grandmother explains that 18-year-old Justin had had a tumultuous upbringing.
Justin grew up in Indianapolis, and at a very young age, his sister and him were taken from biological parents through Department of Child Services and spent some time in foster care, and he was adopted at one point in time. Justin had gotten into some trouble and had gotten incarcerated as a juvenile. It was too hard for them to take care of him, so they kind of washed their hands of him, and he went to the system.
Justin lived on and off on the streets. By the time he was 18, a fairly hardened individual, which is really sad.
Six months earlier, Justin had reconnected with his grandmother.
Grandma treated him with love, was concerned about his appearance, concerned about who he was hanging around with, but still, as a grandmother's love would be, what can I do for you? And Justin bared his soul and basically told Grandma that he'd killed somebody.
She was still in shock that he had said this to her, but she knew she was trying to do the right thing, so she gave that information.
Investigators know they need to speak with Justin immediately.
She told me he was at the Hendricks County Jail in October of 2019, that he had gotten arrested for having a stolen van and a stolen gun. And she was concerned that possibly that maybe that gun was involved in the case.
We had then a good belief that this person was a viable suspect in Alex's killing.
And that's when I went to the Hendricks County Jail and spoke to Justin. Justin, hey, good. I'm Mark Anderson with Morgan County Sheriff's Department. This is Dean Minton. Okay. And first thing is, we're not here, we don't care what you were in here for. Yeah, absolutely don't care. Okay, we're here for something else. And you go back to your cell anytime. You don't have to talk to us. I advised him that I was here to speak to him about a homicide.
Who the homicide is?
A man named Alex Jackson.
Alex Jackson.
And it wasn't until a short time later he stated, "Oh yeah, I know Alex."
But I have only met him 2 times.
Investigators inform Justin an anonymous tip has implicated the teen in Alex's murder.
So why would your name come up in this homicide?
I don't know, sir.
I mean, did they specifically mention your name?
I mean, I have a bad reputation because I've been locked up.
Okay. You not shot anybody?
No, sir.
Okay. You didn't tell anybody you did?
No, sir.
He tried to explain that he only met Alex twice, and he tried to brush it off that he didn't really know him.
When asked how he met Alex, Justin tells investigators they were introduced through Justin's girlfriend.
What's the girl's name?
Brittany.
Brittany what?
Olsen.
When I heard that, then it started clicking together that the 2 names were connected. Brittany and Justin.
Over a month after the shooting death of Alex Jackson, Investigators in Morgan County, Indiana, have zeroed in on Justin Blake as the primary person of interest. When Justin reveals he was introduced to Alex by Alex's friend, Brittany Overton.
Investigators made the connection that Justin knew Brittany. In fact, the two had a relationship for some time. And add that to the fact that investigators were told by Justin's grandmother that Justin had confessed to killing Alex. These were strong pieces of evidence.
Justin was pretty much saying he's not involved. I don't know why you're here.
However, Justin does admit to being with Brittany and Alex on September 8th, the evening investigators believe Alex was killed.
Justin started to tell a story very similar to Brittany, and that Alex left in a blue rental car at 11 p.m. and never came back.
So you met Alex. What Alex? And he said that Alex dropped him off at the house. He never saw Alex after that. I just don't think you're giving me all the information.
I gave you all the information that I know.
We didn't talk to him much longer after that because we wanted to make sure we had another shot to talk to him.
While Justin is escorted back to his jail cell, investigators focus on the stolen weapon found in his possession during his recent arrest.
I then called the arresting officer in that case to confirm what kind of weapon that he was charged with. He had a revolver in his possession at the time, so it didn't match the shell casings that we found at the scene, due to the fact the revolver doesn't spin out shell casings.
They weren't able to find the murder weapon, so they strongly suspected that Justin had dumped the weapon shortly after the murder.
Still, investigators have no idea what motive Justin would have, or what role Brittany Overton might have played in the crime. Before circling back to Brittany, they focus their efforts on developing evidence against her.
So we did search warrants of social media, cell phone records, cell phone tower locations, anything that we could to either include or exclude someone as a suspect.
Brittany had clearly kept some interesting company.
There was some involvement in the drug community. Not terrible, but enough that she was on probation. We learned that Brittany met Justin Blake through a drug dealer. They had the same dealer.
Once I got the Facebook records for Brittany Overton, you can see that she's hanging with Justin a lot as a couple in pictures. Brittany and Justin did have a sexual relationship with each other. He had a bad guy persona about him already, and he was only 18 at the time.
I think in looking at some of the social media, she had a bad boy crush on him. There's some comment that all they've been through, they had a bond, like a band of brothers, thick as thieves type of bond.
When I'm going through her accounts, I'm finding conversations with her and other subjects in the criminal world. Just days prior to the homicide, she's actually talking to people about wanting to get a gun.
Investigators are unable to determine if Brittany had acquired a gun. But as they continue analyzing her social media data and usage, they come to a startling realization.
Neighbors heard gunshots at around 4:30 a.m. on the morning of September 9th, which is believed to be the time that Alex was killed. And then at 4:45 a.m., Brittany logged onto her Facebook account and she unfriended Alex.
That stuck in our mind really hard. It was exactly 15 minutes after the homicide that she defriends Alex Jackson.
Once we had that foundation, then when those cell records came back, her cell phone put her in the area of North Man Road, very close to where Alex was killed at 4:31 a.m. on September 9th.
Investigators have the evidence they need to secure a warrant for Brittany's arrest. When they receive the forensic analysis on Alex's rental car, the case becomes more than circumstantial.
We sent a copy of Justin Blake's fingerprints to the state lab with the fingerprint that we found on the radio. They called back and confirmed it was a match to his fingerprints. So that places him in the vehicle. The DNA results on the keys, those DNA results came back to Brittany Overton.
The DNA, the phone records, all kind of put Justin there, Brittany there. There didn't seem to be any obvious motive, but it was time to roll up our sleeves, file the charges, and get arrest warrants for Justin Blake and Brittany Overton.
On October 3rd, 2020, more than a year after Alex Jackson's murder, police take Justin Blake and Brittany Overton into custody.
Justin had been in Hendricks County Jail for stealing a car and having a gun in his possession. But at that point, Justin had been released from jail.
Justin was in Indianapolis with a new girlfriend, and he was located at her residence. Brittany was found inside Indianapolis city limits.
All right, Justin, you remember me?
Investigators sit down with Justin first and confront him with the evidence stacked against him.
So why would I just kill somebody? That don't... Well, I don't know. Why would you? Was there something gone wrong? Do you have dope you wanted to buy?
Was there a fight?
Was there a fight?
No, sir.
He just denied it the whole time and said the same story he said before. He was given a voice stress test. He agreed to take one, and of course he failed it. After that, he pretty much said, "Oh, I want to talk to a lawyer."
Hey, Brittany.
Detectives next turn their attention to Brittany.
I think you want to get it off your chest of what happened and get justice for Alex.
I'm confused.
About?
So, you're saying that I'm associated with it because I witnessed it.
Did you witness it?
No, I'm saying, like, this is what he's saying.
Brittany, for 2 hours, played innocent.
We know you were there, 100%. When Alex died, you were there. There's no doubt in our mind.
And it wasn't until the detectives talked about that her phone records put her at the scene. There was no way she wasn't there.
These are all locations where your phone is pinging. That's the exact time Alex was killed, and you're all over here.
I think she finally realized, well, let's tell this story and see what happens. And then she gave a story of what happened that night.
All those pieces of the puzzle fell into place as we had planned.
Indiana authorities have arrested Brittany Overton and Justin Blake for the murder of Brittany's friend, Alex Jackson. While Justin continues to maintain his innocence, Brittany eventually cracks under the pressure.
Brittany told them that on the night of September 8th, Alex had picked her up in his rental car.
Brittany said Alex and her was running around, and at some point in time in the night, they picked Justin up.
They were driving around, partying a bit, and at a certain point, Justin suggested they go try to make some fast money.
They get Alex to contact a guy from Grindr, and they set up a date to meet him, and they were going to rob him.
According to Brittany, when the trio arrived at the apartment complex, Justin forced Alex to accompany him to the front door.
I sat in the car.
Justin started pistol whipping him. Brittany said that Alex didn't expect them to beat him up and be that violent.
So they went back into robbery, and what'd they come out with? Do you know?
I came out with some credit cards, an Xbox, I believe, or it was a PlayStation, it was one, and maybe a checkbook.
Brittany claims the trio partied for the next several hours, but Alex became increasingly upset about what had happened.
Alex has never seen this kind of stuff before. He's not a criminal. That must have been a shock.
He was kind of regretting doing the robberies and stuff and was talking about it.
There was a concern that Alex would snitch on them.
And they ended up on this road. And at that time, then Justin supposedly tells her to stop the car.
What do you mean, stop the car? He's like, stop the car. And he's got a gun, and it's held right here to my head. At that point in time, I was scared.
When she stopped the car, he then made the comment, "Alex, you know it's time." And at that time, she says, Alex looks over at her and said, "What's going on, Brittany?"
I'm freaking out. He said, "Brittany, what's going on?" I was like, "I don't know." And we're both pretty hysterical at that time. So Justin gets out of the car and pulls Alex out of the car.
Justin gets out with the gun in his hand, and she proceeds to look straight ahead and hear several gunshots.
Hear Alex screaming, anything like that?
Yeah, dude. It was just like a scared kind of scream and gunshots.
And then Justin gets in the front seat of the car. He had the gun in his hand and Alex's cell phone. And Justin drops her off and says, "Don't say anything to anybody or you're going to die." And then he drives off and leaves.
Investigators aren't buying Brittany's story. If Brittany was afraid of Justin, she certainly didn't seem to show it in the days after the murder.
Brittany admitted to police that they used the rental car for 2 days after the murder.
He had it hid for a couple days.
Okay, and then came back and got you?
Yeah.
She said that her and Justin were drinking and that he ran off the road and hit the tree.
So you were in the car when the car was wrecked, right?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing now that she's more of a manipulative person, and you can see where she's doing anything she can to survive.
While Justin continues to deny any involvement, investigators have what they need to file charges.
We charged Justin Blake with murder and felony murder, murder for shooting Alex, felony murder for stealing the car. We charged Brittany Overton only with, felony murder and robbery. We did not believe that she pulled the trigger.
I didn't know anything about Brittany, but I just needed whoever was responsible to pay for it. They took my baby for no reason.
After the arrests were made, the family was happy. Lalana was happy. My brother was happy. But now comes trial.
With Brittany's testimony and a mountain of physical and digital evidence in tow, prosecutors take Justin's case to a jury in February of 2022. While prosecutors don't need to prove motive as an element of their case, they believe they know why Alex was killed that night.
Alex fell in with the wrong crowd. He certainly wasn't hardened like Brittany and Justin. Ultimately, Alex was caught up in their crimes, and as soon as he showed a sign of weakness, they punished him for that, to protect themselves.
Obviously, they were intimate. They found some attraction to each other. I think it became a bond of what they did together that night, and then a bond of how they thought they could get away with it.
Despite Justin's defense team attempting to shift blame solely to Brittany, on February 24, 2022, the jury sides with the prosecution.
The jury convicted Justin of all counts: murder, felony murder, and robbery. We proceeded to sentencing, and the judge gave him 61 years.
In May 2022, Brittany Overton accepts a plea bargain.
The judge did credit her for testifying in Justin's trial. The judge ended up giving her 20 years with 17 and a half to do.
Brittany teared up a little bit, but I didn't think she was very remorseful.
I still cannot wrap my mind around how you could be so close to somebody like Alex and do something so horrific. I just will never understand why.
They took an amazing person, and that was part of the problem. He was so trusting and befriended people because he saw the good in everyone.
I remember my mom saying that when she looked in his eyes, it was like looking in the eyes of the devil. When I think back on it, I really, really wish I would listen.
I just want you to start from the beginning.
She would ask me, how did I feel about her getting married? And I told her that I didn't like it.
This is the man you're going to marry, and you're not going to tell him that your lover is going to blow his brains out?
He was like, I told you if I couldn't have you, nobody could. I was scared, and I was like, I don't want to go to jail.
She told me she loved me. She said, do you know what we could do with that money? She was like, well, you could go. I could try.
And he told me that if I told anybody, that he'd come back and he'd kill my whole family.
She was like, so when are we going to do this? She said, all I got to do is come down and give some sex and come.
He was very, very good at manipulation. I think he just wanted to control.
He assassinated your husband, okay? Let's call it what it is. And you knew it was going to happen, and you did nothing to stop it.
He was a good guy. He didn't deserve what happened to him.
1993. Dispatchers in Mansfield, Ohio, receive a worried call about a missing 18-year-old.
There was a missing persons report filed by Hope Lothery, the mother of Jason Lothery. Jason at the time was home on leave from the U.S. Army. He'd gone to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and he was home on leave from basic training, waiting his next duty station at Fort Carson, Colorado. She said that Jason had gone out the night before, New Year's Eve, about 11:30, in her car, which was a 1993 blue Chevy Cavalier, and was going out to visit some relatives, and that he never returned.
He was supposed to be home that night to celebrate with his mother because Jason Lothery had just gotten married on December 30th, and he was about to set off for Colorado with his new bride in just a few days.
His mom got concerned, and she had called his new bride, Amanda.
Amanda had said that her and Jason had been out the night before. Jason had driven her home, and he had left.
Apparently, Amanda had agreed to spend the night with her mother, New Year's Eve, despite the fact they were newlyweds.
He was all right with it, her husband, because he wanted to spend time with his mother before he took off back in the Army.
Amanda had no idea where he had gone and hadn't seen him since he had dropped her off.
I'm not sure if Jason's mom came to my house or if she called. I can't really recall it. But I was freaking out, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, I didn't know what to do, you know? So the cops came and stuff, and they started questioning me, and it was like, I was just living in a nightmare, and I was like, this ain't real. Like, that's all I kept saying to myself. I was like, it's not real. Like, it's gonna be okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Jason's gonna come home, and it's gonna be fine.
We obviously checked the hospital. Hope had called all family and friends looking for Jason. No one had a clue where he was at. But at 11:35 in the morning, a private citizen called in who had found the vehicle, just inadvertently.
The vehicle was over an embankment down by the railroad tracks in the north end of town, in a secluded area.
Which was about a mile and a half from the Lothry home. Mansfield police responded, and it was Hope Lothry's missing vehicle that Jason was last seen in.
But Jason's not at the scene, no one's at the scene. In the car, we found Jason's jacket, and it had a lot of blood on the jacket and in the car.
There was a large amount of blood on the driver's side headrest. There was copious amounts of blood there, and with Jason being missing, this didn't look good for him.
Born in 1974, Jason Lothry was the epitome of all-American.
We were in classes together. He was National Honor Society. He was a good kid. He was a very polite, friendly person.
In high school, he had good grades. He was Honor Society. He was, you know, all the good things.
He liked to play basketball. He'd be on the basketball court and mixing it up at lunch during the open gym.
16-year-old Amanda Branham was a grade below Jason at the same high school.
I knew Jason for years. He lived up the street from me. His cousin was my best friend. We went to school together.
Amanda is very friendly. She doesn't know a stranger. She'll include anybody in her group.
At first, it was just like we were all just like friends, you know? But then me and Jason, like we just clicked one day. He was sweet, caring. People loved him. My parents loved him.
Jason was a boy that everybody's parents wanted their daughters to date. Like, the perfect guy.
We would just ride around and just talk and listen to music. And if I wasn't at his house, he was at my house. It was just, we were in our own world.
Less than a year after they fell in love, in the spring of 1992, Jason graduated and enlisted in the Army.
Before Jason went to boot camp, he asked me to marry him. Of course, I said yes, but I'm 17 years old at the time, so we didn't plan to get married until after I graduated school. So we had made our marriage date for June of '93. We thought that he was going to be able to stay in Ohio, but the military, they were saying that he was going to station him in Colorado. So he had asked me, he was like, I want you to go with me. I was ready to just get out of Mansfield and start my life, so we moved our wedding date up to December. And I dropped out of school. We had made a whole plan that when we got to Colorado, I was going to get my GED. I was going to go to cosmetology school because I wanted to do hair. So, like, we had a whole plan.
On December 30th, 1992, Amanda and Jason were married in a small ceremony in Mansfield.
His parents came, my parents came, my sister, a few of the friends. We were very happy, but that changed when this happened.
Now, only 2 days after his wedding, the car Jason had been driving has been found covered in blood.
The car was towed to the Mansfield Police Department so the crime lab could process it for evidence.
Because of the amount of blood, we believed that we were dealing with a homicide at that point.
So, since Amanda, his wife of one day, was the last person allegedly that had been with him or seen him, we thought she was a key to the investigation, and we interviewed her right away.
When Amanda goes down to the police station, she's very upset. She's worried about where Jason could be.
They said that they had found the car. My mind was all over the place.
That's when Amanda reveals that Jason had gotten involved with some local drug dealers named Capri Smith and Anthony Parents.
She said they were going to harm Jason, and she didn't know the extent of the harm that they wanted to do to him. We were familiar with Capri Smith from other police dealings.
She said Anthony Parents had some long-standing grudge against Jason and had threatened to kill him. She said that the night of the 26th, they were all at the Moto Mart and that Anthony wanted to fight Jason and that Jason wouldn't go out and fight. We had no reason to doubt Amanda, but we wanted to clear her first of any knowledge. So we asked her if she'd take a polygraph, and she agreed. Her answers were that she had no knowledge, direct involvement in Jason's disappearance.
She passed the polygraph with flying colors.
After the polygraph, I went back on station, and within an hour, I got a call from a citizen that said that Amanda Lothry and her sister had come to their house screaming and that they had found Jason's body in a ravine. I thought, well, she just passed this polygraph, supposedly, and drives there directly to where the body's at, and yet claims no knowledge. So what's the chances of that?
Coming up, as a homicide investigation ignites, another murder leads to more questions.
That was strange that we would have these two homicides close together. We don't believe in coincidences.
And the search for justice will lead to a shocking revelation.
When we found this out, that this was kind of a love triangle thing going on there.
17-year-old Amanda Lothry in connection with her husband Jason's disappearance. Detectives have just received a call that Amanda has made a terrible discovery.
She had indicated her and her sister
the car, and she just started looking. And then she seen him. I remember just getting this sinking feeling in my stomach, and I just started crying.
Her and the sister then went on foot to a random house, nobody they knew, and called the police from there.
I went to the scene, and we found that Jason was thrown over this bank into a ravine. He had obvious wounds to the back of his head, which appeared to me to be gunshot wounds, and we could see abrasions on Jason's body that would indicate that he had been dragged.
But there were no bullet casings, anything of that nature found at the scene.
The vehicle is located about 2.5 miles due north of where the body was found. The large amount of blood in the vehicle suggested that he was murdered in the vehicle, but we didn't know whether that happened where the vehicle was located or at the scene where he was recovered.
Where Jason's body is ultimately discovered, that area was an odd location for Amanda to be looking in because it isn't in close proximity to where they lived or where he would have gone.
And so we talked to Amanda at the scene where Jason was found.
So Amanda said this spot is where drug dealers have been known to frequent.
She said she went there because that's where, Anthony and Capri did their dirty work, and that's how she happened to be there. So we didn't take another formal statement at that time. We just talked to her.
Can't say that they was really consoling, but I think that they were just doing their job.
The coroner was called to the scene, and the coroner dictated the body be transferred to the Mansfield General Hospital morgue for autopsy.
I got word that Jason had passed the same night that they found him. I was quite shocked. Couldn't believe that someone as good as him had life cut short.
I didn't eat. I couldn't sleep. It was almost like I was walking in a dream. Everything was just surreal.
At this point, we're definitely looking at a homicide. So we're checking alibis, we're checking leads. Amanda had stated that Anthony Parents and Capri Smith frequently ran together and that Anthony had threatened to kill Jason in the past. So obviously we contacted Anthony Parents and Capri Smith about this. They both were known to law enforcement and had police records.
Caprice and Anthony, when they were questioned, they had no knowledge of what we were talking about, and they gave alibis.
We knew that the murder occurred sometime between 11:30, the night before, and when he was found at about 3:55, the next day on January 1st. We checked out both their alibis, and they were solid. They were at parties with numerous people that could vouch for their presence there. They had no involvement in Jason Lothry's murder.
At that point, we had nothing more to go on.
Back at square one, detectives review another homicide case that occurred just 4 days before Jason's murder to determine if there is any possible connection.
Mansfield is not that high of a rate in terms of crime, but suddenly had 2 murders within days of one another.
We'd average about 4 or 5 murders a year, so it was unusual to have that many murders in that time span before Jason's murder. I'd gotten called in the early morning hours of December 27th for an apparent homicide. The man was shot in the left eye. His name was Scott Cox.
Scotty Cox was in the bar with a friend, and they were having a drink.
We talked to the man that was with Scott Cox. He said that they were leaving the bar. These 2 individuals were coming eastbound on 4th Street.
Scotty Cox had bumped into these 2 guys. He described them as one tall and one short. Other than that, he couldn't tell us white, black, anything else about them.
Words were exchanged between them, and that the taller male pulled out a gun, a pistol, and shot Scott Cox in the face. And they ran away from him.
It was you just feel numb, I guess, just shock. Why Scotty? Scotty didn't have any enemies.
We all broke down as a family, couldn't believe it happened. He wasn't a troublemaker, so we didn't know why it happened.
Both Jason and Scott were assassinated by bullets to the head, but detectives still aren't sure if they're connected.
There's always this fear that if you find these sort of connected murders, that more violence or more murders may result. Later on, people start coming forward and providing information, and the connection then...
Mansfield detectives are investigating the murder of 18-year-old Jason Lothry and trying to determine if it's connected to another recent homicide.
Scott Cox was murdered on December 27th, 1992, in Mansfield, just days before Jason Lothry was murdered.
At the time, we were kind of still in the dark. We just had heard that it was another tragedy.
For an autopsy, which he performed the next morning, he determined that manner of death was homicide and cause of death was 3 gunshot wounds to the head. Some bullet fragments were recovered from Jason's head, were turned over for comparison.
It was a homicide by gunshot, a small caliber gun, and it turned out to be a .22 caliber.
The weapon that was determined to kill Scott Cox was a .38 caliber Smith & Wesson. And so we had nothing at that point to connect the 2 deaths.
Despite the different murder weapons, detectives continue to investigate the homicides side by side.
We thought that was strange that we would have these 2 homicides close together. We don't believe in coincidences.
We had 6 to 8 detectives working on this at the time. After the word got out on Jason's murder, after it was in the papers and everything, we started getting phone calls from the different high schools that students thought they might have some knowledge about this murder. We found out from these students that all hung around together that this man, Raji Render, didn't like Jason.
Raji Render wanted to fight, have it out with Jason so they could settle their differences.
Render was also known to hang around with a guy by the name of Aaron Bryant. And so his name was also offered up to police.
So we had to check him out. Raji T.C. Render had been involved in the system before on that weapons charge. T.C.'s a nickname he gave himself, Totally Cool or Too Cool. Aaron Bryant was living down the street from him. They were supposedly best friends. And if you use the geography of it, Render and Bryant both live close to where Scott Cox was murdered.
Myself and Detective Jim Gadd went out to pick them up to talk.
The thing that stood out about Aaron was on the Scott Cox murder, witnesses said one was a really short male, about 5'4", and Aaron Bryant was about 5'4".
And TC was taller, so in the back of my mind, I'm saying these two guys fit the description we had from the Cox homicide.
At the station, detectives asked TC and Aaron about the murders of Jason Lothry and Scott Cox.
They denied any involvement in it. T.C. Render and Aaron Bryant had alibis that on late night December 26th, early morning December 27th, there was a kind of a party going on in the basement. And again, on New Year's Eve, they were there all night for a party until 5 in the morning. At the time, Aaron Bryant was living with his girlfriend, Julie Crosby, and her father was Clarence Crosby. I contacted Clarence Crosby, the male head of household there, and confided into him what was going on, that there had been 2 murders. We thought Aaron might be involved.
On January 4th, Clarence and his daughter Julie agree to come to the station, where they're separated for questioning.
I asked him, had he heard anything? Had he seen anything? He was surprised to hear that Aaron could be involved, and that he said, he didn't know anything about it, hadn't heard anything, but he'd let us know. So we next talked to Julie Crosby, Aaron's girlfriend. She was 18, had a young baby, and questioned her.
Julie Crosby was given indications to police that she was nervous, so they had thought that she knew something.
Julie at first denied any knowledge.
Then Detective Wendling came in and pretty much slammed his fist on the table and was like, "You have got to tell us what is going on."
It was explained to her what an accessory to murder could mean, what kind of charge that could mean, what kind of effect that could have on her life, with her young child and everything. And she then broke down. She said Aaron confessed to her that T.C. Render and Aaron Bryant, they had inadvertently killed Scott Cox.
It was like the floodgates being opened.
Investigation of the New Year's Eve murder of Jason Lothry. Mansfield detectives have received information that Raji T.C. Render and Aaron Bryant were involved in another recent murder, that of Scott Cox.
Once we interviewed Julie Crosby, it kind of cracked the case open.
While at the house one night, Julie had overheard a discussion between T.C. Render and Clarence Crosby, her father, about wanting to borrow a weapon. T.C. was looking for a gun. Wanted to use this gun to ambush Jason Lothry.
According to Julie, the day after T.C. borrowed the gun, he and Aaron returned to the house in a panic.
December 27th, T.C. and Aaron ran back to her house and gave Clarence Crosby the weapon back.
They were kind of on edge. They were riled up.
They said Scotty Cox ran into Aaron on the street, bumped into him. Words were exchanged.
They had an argument with Scott, and TC raised the gun in front of Scott. Scott supposedly batted it away. The gun was raised again, and he was shot. Scott Cox just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Julie says her father then supplied TC with a new gun, this time a .22.
Clarence had prior knowledge. His plan was to kill Jason and still supplied the ammunition as well as the weapons. We didn't know why he did that. I mean, the rest of these were 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and Clarence was an adult. December 31st, Julie told us that T.C. Render came back and gave Clarence Crosby the .22 revolver back. They said it was used to kill Jason Lothery.
So the two murders were actually connected.
When detectives asked Julie why TC wanted to kill Jason Lothery, she says the entire plot revolved around Jason's wife.
Apparently, T.C. and Amanda had been an item.
They found out Amanda and TC had been on and off for some time, but this information was withheld from police by Amanda.
Julie advised that Amanda and TC had remained in that relationship even though she had started a relationship with Jason and committed to marrying him. And the idea was that TC wanted him dead because he wanted to be with Amanda. Julie also indicated that Amanda was well aware of what was going to transpire.
Now Amanda had passed a polygraph. I will admit the polygraph's not a panacea. People can pass polygraphs and still be 100% guilty.
When we found this out, that this was kind of a love triangle thing going on here, it gave us a motive.
Armed with his daughter's statement, detectives circled back to Clarence and confront him with the allegations.
He basically confirmed what Julie had told us, that he had supplied both weapons, the .22 revolver that was used to kill Jason Lothery and the .38 revolver for Scott Cox.
Following Clarence's interview, detectives head to his home to collect evidence.
From there, we recovered the .38 caliber revolver.
The bullet casings were buried in the backyard. Clarence showed us approximately where they were, and we dug them up.
We later recovered the .22 H&R revolver that was used in Jason Lothery's murder. We felt we had probable cause to make arrests on Amanda, TC, and Aaron.
On January 4th, investigators arrest T.C. Render.
We found TC first. We were searching a residence that we had information he was at. We put him on the ground, handcuffed him.
Detectives arrest Aaron Bryant at a friend's house the same day, before setting their sights on Amanda Lothery.
I was at Jason's wake. They came in and asked me to come outside. And then when they got me outside, they said that I was under arrest for the murder of Jason. It was almost like I had all these voices in my mind, like screaming. And I'm like, you're arresting me? I didn't even do it.
Amanda was taken to the Detective Bureau for a statement.
Are you in love with TC?
No.
Have you ever been in love with him?
No. It's so hard for me to remember like everything back then. I was scared, and I was like, I don't want to go to jail. I just know that during their investigation, I misled them.
Amanda Lothery has been taken into custody in connection to the murder of her young husband, Jason. According to an eyewitness, Amanda had prior knowledge that her alleged lover, Raji T.C. Render, wanted to murder Jason in order to be with her.
Would you explain your relationship to me with TC, what it has been all along?
We saw each other on and off. That is, when Jason left, it was just a friendship.
I met TC when I'd say maybe I was like 14, I think. He was like 17. And I was like, oh, he's kind of cute.
TC had been, a popular guy. He had a reputation for being like a ladies' man.
My parents didn't like him. I remember my mom saying that when she looked in his eyes, it was like looking in the eyes of the devil.
When Amanda and TC broke up, she started talking to Jason. Her parents were thrilled. You could tell they really liked Jason a lot.
We knew that after Jason went off to join the Army, TC moved right back into his relationship with Amanda.
She admitted that they were still seeing each other.
Would you now tell me what you know about that incident? I just want you to start from the beginning.
When TC found out that me and Jason had got engaged, he had made a comment to somebody. He was like, I'll shoot up that whole wedding if she thinks she's getting married.
He was going to shoot him. Did you tell Jason that?
I made hints towards Jason.
Hints? This is the man you're going to marry the following Wednesday? You're wearing his wedding band right now, and you're not going to tell him